Local control. You know it, you love it. After insane taxes and overregulation, local control stands as the greatest impediment to a healthy, thriving cannabis industry in California. We don't need to remind, local control was written into Proposition 64 ostensibly to make passage of the bill more palatable to the average voter. What it's really done is suppress the entire supply chain by allowing local jurisdictions to ban any and all cannabis business, including retail dispensaries. And it's dispensaries that are the lifelines for those most in need of cannabis products: medical patients, seniors, veterans, and individuals with disabilities. The result of local control is that 57% of California cities and counties still don't allow any retail cannabis business. Our state has about 1,200 legal dispensaries for its 40 million residents. In contrast, Oklahoma serves a population of only 4 million, but has twice as many dispensaries as California. Most industry professionals believe California must address and prioritize its retail footprint before it can have real impact on the availability of cannabis products. How does local control hurt the industry? Well, it threatens consumer safety by perpetuating an unregulated market. It undermines the survival of smaller-scale cultivators. It blocks access and business opportunities to minority communities, and it creates space for corruption and scandal among elected officials. Overconcentration of retail in a few large cities presents its own unique issues, but there are several hundred underserved jurisdictions across the state. Our town of Sonoma is a prime example, a small Northern California town with a single dispensary serving the city and its surrounding population of 40,000. Though Sonoma's ordinance allows for 2 dispensaries, its city council refuses to begin the process for a second retail outlet. The city's own consultant, HDL Companies, advised Sonoma that it could sustain 2 dispensaries. Why would a city council choose to ignore the expert opinion of its own consultant and block the additional choices and competitive pricing a second dispensary would provide its residents? Why would it choose to deny the city additional revenue? Why does it support a monopoly of service in Sonoma rather than let the market decide? And here is where the subject of corruption comes up. Local control breeds corruption. Look, our industry is full of compassionate, ethical human beings who labor every day to provide relief for those in need. They are multi-generational craft cultivators, conscientious edible manufacturers, and honest retailers. There are also attorneys and legislators and advocates and activists who have fought for truly fair, equitable access to cannabis. But, like most industries, the cannabis trade harbors its share of pretenders and opportunists, greedy to exploit any opportunity to make a buck at the expense of vulnerable patients and consumers. And of course, government isn't exempt from the temptation to profit. From the halls of state capitals to county and city council chambers, whether it's Fall River, Massachusetts, or Adelanto, California, news stories about corruption and its corrosive effects abound, serving to undermine public trust in government and the industry. Currently, the FBI is looking into potential corruption in the cannabis industry and is actively seeking tips to investigate. Even California's state auditor has examined certain jurisdictions' permitting processes in order to increase public confidence and mitigate the risks of corruption. Though it may be arguable that the city of Sonoma has been guilty of some degree of corruption around money and power in its management of the dispensary issue, it has most certainly succumbed to corruption of conscience. Sonoma's story is about conflicts of interest, cronyism, and regulatory capture. It's a story about lobbyists and the friends of lobbyists. It's a story about bad faith operators and those who back and finance them. This is a story with so many details that we've produced an extended series of videos to tell it. Eric Pearson is the CEO of Spark and operates 7 dispensaries in the San Francisco Bay Area. He is a figure both lauded and despised in the industry and has been the subject of numerous news articles regarding questionable business practices over many years. Amy O'Gorman Jenkins is a California state registered lobbyist and has represented Pearson's interests in Sacramento. Pearson also gave her a 5% interest in his Sonoma store to represent Spark to the local city council. She is also friendly with Sonoma Councilmember Sandra Lowe and contributed to Lowe's campaign. Lowe has since appointed Jenkins to the local planning commission. Now, one may wonder, is this corruption or just the appearance of corruption? Does it matter? A former Sonoma mayor was right. Personal relationships should not play a role in awarding a dispensary permit, and it is those relationships that continue to work to this day to preserve a bad actor's monopoly of service and deny Sonoma Valley patients and consumers the access they deserve. Some of our story may sound very familiar to others suffering under local control. What can we do about it? Get active. Just as an example, our Sonoma Valley Cannabis Group wrote a position paper on local control, gathered over 50 signatures of industry organizations and professionals, and submitted it to the state of California. We also suggest creating a registry and clearinghouse of information for advocates currently working in underserved cities and counties. Remember, information is power. Get organized, make videos, start a petition, go to city and county meetings, and engage your elected officials directly. Make an impact. The health, safety, and personal well-being of both patients and consumers come first and should guide every decision our industry makes. And look, we all know the devil is in the details, but when California voters supported Prop 64, they made clear the importance of establishing a legal system that would grant Californians safe access to cannabis products while also creating good jobs and significant tax revenue. It is essential that all stakeholders work together to support wider access at the local level and encourage a positive outcome that reflects the will of the people. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to learn more or see our other videos, stop by SonomaValleyCannabisGroup.com or email us at svcg@SonomaValleyCannabisGroup.com.